Thank you for joining our fifth sports forum. First of all, we're going to have a conference from Mr. Damon Menday, former marketing director from Mallorca Football Club. He's going to talk about the main strategies for organizing and marketing sport events. After that, we're going to have a second conference, and then we will follow up with the one-to-one meetings. The buyers will be sitting at the tables, and the suppliers, according to the list, will be changing every 15 minutes to another table, okay? If you have any questions, you've got Mr. Peter Ostrowski from our team back there, Nuria and me, and we can help you. Thank you very much. Damon?
Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to the Rafa Nadal Academy, and thank you for having me, Juan Ramon. Basically, I'm just going to walk through a little bit my personal experience and some of the situations and how our company works and how do we manage to improve a little bit every year, and would like to share it with you guys and see if I can help you, and if you need any questions or you would like me to translate into Spanish anything for the Spanish-speaking people, I'm more than welcome to do so. Okay. The principal strategy is to organize and market sports tourism events. Our situation, obviously, my company. I'm just going to talk about my company, but it can be any company in any of our formats and trades. We are based on the island, but we work internationally. We work all over Europe, and we do events, and we create tourism, professional and amateur. So we move back and forth groups of any type of sports, mainly football, but we do dedicate to other sports. Okay, so through this, I'm going to try and show you some of the problems we might encounter and some of the things that we might need to go forward with our projects, especially events, tourism and professional. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about our organizational structure, timing, logistics, licenses, a marketing plan, just to see how the strategy we use to grow every year, the sales plan, objectives, and our keys to success. Fortunately, in our 4-year plan, we've grown every year, so hopefully you can do so in your businesses. I'll just read this for you. This presentation will offer you a broader vision with a wide range of possibilities of focusing on those areas essential for the future management of an international tourism sport event. Whether professional or amateur, looking for quality references, new skills, and management processes in all areas. As I mentioned before, we have logistics, marketing, protocol, hospitality, negotiation, etc. Another objective of this module is to present the paths to follow, the tools and the skills necessary for the great deployment of the organization, management, execution, future events in the sports tourism industry, and developing skills to analyze our event, creativity, and the reflection to see how everything finishes at the end, especially when we are doing our own event. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce to you how, especially for suppliers, how people who we work with, DMCs, manage our operation, okay? We normally receive orders from DMCs, tour operators, private companies, probably people like yourself, and they come into requests. How do we distribute this to make sure that we don't mix up in our organization and make sure that we can take the projects as further as possible? Order comes into our board of administration. Board of administration obviously accepts if the event is good for our company. We have direct control by the CEO, and we always appoint a project manager. As you probably know, the project manager is the person that's going to make sure that every task is going to be carried out perfectly. For us in our company, basically, I'm always a project manager. So any decision, final decision, economic, strategies, publicity, everything goes through my hands. Then I subject the project to the sales department, logistics department, marketing department, administrative and legal. As you can see, we start going into more departments, more people, more resources, more costs. The next step that we have, once we've signed an agreement with a company, my task, the project manager, the organization meets up with the other side. We always appoint somebody else on the company, the football team, the cycling team, a petroleum company who wants to come over and do a 12-day, motivation group. So we have to always have somebody appointed on the other side. In this case, we have the figure of the team manager in professional football or in professional sports. Once we're released from the board of administration and the CEO, the project manager takes control of the event. Okay, can you see there? You okay there? Yeah. Okay. What do? I start talking with all my different departments who I deploy responsibilities to. Always having to delegate, because one cannot take on all the action, because then the project will never work. My department directors, obviously we have the sales director, operations director or logistics, marketing, and administrative legal departments. What is the function of every different department that we have in our company? Obviously sales, we take over incoming revenue, box office, online sales, package deals, VIP, etc. Logistics, very important in any operation for tourism or sports events. We need air transport, in other cases maybe train or sea. Ground transportation, limousine for directors, presidents, or company management. And one of the things that everybody seems to forget is luggage transport. Some of these groups maybe come with 600, 800, 900, 100 kilos. So we're going to need extra transport. Marketing. Obviously, if we're talking of a professional team, we can always reduce our cost by marketing, bringing over this group of a professional football team or basketball or whatever. We can place billboards, publicity, we can manufacture merchandising. In some of the cases, like in my case, we always have TV rights, image rights, etc., copyright for certain personalities. We should never forget this aspect, because we could get sued here, and then our event will go directly down the drain. Administrative legal. Even if we're in the tourism industry and we think that everything is arranged when we land with the airplane, this is not true, because most of the events that the tourism come over here, especially in Mallorca, in times of non-seasonality, let's say, for example, this weekend we have a marathon. This marathon was organized by TUI in the beginning. Never mind if it was TUI, we had to make sure that we had local state licenses, contracts, authorizations, in my case in football, UEFA, documentation, etc. I'll go a little bit more into that a little later on. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about this. Timing, fundamental. From day one, the clock is ticking. So we need to get our structure, we need to get our timing properly, and we need that all our directors of department know that the clock is ticking, and we need to make sure that our schedule is running on time. If we're not on time, it supposes costs, and cost is money. Basic logistics that you all know. We have flights, we have trains, we have coach. Expedition, baggage weight. Always remember, when we're bringing tourists over, they come with the bicycle, the windsurfs, the sailing boats, weight and dimensions. We don't want to find that we reach the airport and we have a windsurf that we can't put on, or it's going to cost us 600 euros to travel over with your windsurf. We need to make sure that all these details are checked out before we go, and that goes onto our cost balances. Very important. I forgot a couple of times organizing big events. I do everything, and when I get to my destination, I forget ground transportation. Obviously, a cock up. So let's never forget, even more important, when we arrive at the airport, we need to have our destination transport available. Accommodation, obviously, hotel, residence, apartments. Back to the material and baggage van, directors' limousines. Also, organizing tourism events. We have to have located hospitals, clinics, specialists, because if we're organizing sports tourism events, we're going to for sure have injuries. Ambulances on site or at an immediate call within an hour of your destination. Very recommendable. Also, external medical services. It's very good to have a doctor located 24 hours of the day. Licenses, authorizations, permits, insurance. When it's a public event and punctual, especially tourism related, they must request the necessary permits from all institutions. In Mallorca, for instance, in the Balearic Islands, but I know this happens in the rest of Europe, because especially in Holland, where I work a lot, I can't go anywhere without asking for the local authorization. If it's tourist, if it's professional, if it's cycling, if it's football, if it's paddle, it doesn't matter. We need an authorization. In the Balearic Islands, for instance, or Spain, we have different types of governing. We have central government, that's the state government. We have the provincial government, that's the Balearic government. We have the Conseil de Mallorca, it's the Council of Mallorca, and then we have the local town hall. So we need 4 different permits for the same event from 4 different institutions, okay? Responsibility is normally delegated to the legal department or the general manager's department. Since these departments usually are those that have relations with the different and competent official organisms. Every public event, and especially if you are interested in doing events anywhere in Spain, you are obliged to have a civil liability insurance. I know that most of you know that, but some of you people know that if you come over with a travel agency or you contract a DMC, please require that they show you the civil liability insurance, because if you don't have it, you can be also facing suing if something goes wrong on your venture. In my personal case, in the case if you have a professional team, i.e. football, the procedure will be as follows. Apart from the legal institutions of Spain, I need to ask also for the Spanish Football Federation authorization, because if we're playing on a local football ground and we are creating a tournament between 2 teams, even its company, we do need to or inform or receive an authorization. It's paperwork, it takes 1 day. The local football federation also needs to know, and we need to present a permit. Local town hall, if you bring a group over and it's going to be tennis, for instance, in Manacor, and it's a group of 30, 40, 50 people, you also need to inform the local town hall that you're going to be holding a campus, a clinic, or a competition, even if it's amateur or even if it's tourism. Finally, central government delegation authorization, and this is the General Authors Association. Seems silly, but they can, if you've got music in your event, they can knock on the door with a bill. It's better just to go into the association, pay 30 euros and forget about it. But even if you've got a television on playing music and they know about your event, they will come and they will fine you. So especially in Spain, we need to have this pretty clear, okay? I explain all this so we avoid damages and liabilities later on. Okay, how do I market our plan in the company? A marketing plan obviously is a comprehensive blueprint which outlines an organization's overall marketing efforts. In most organizations, we use strategic planning as an annual process. Obviously, in any company, we know a year in front, more or less, the groups that we're going to have, so we need to have a marketing plan for every single group and their needs, okay? It's not the same if we bring over a football club or a company from Volkswagen that comes over with 100 employees. It's different, so we need a different marketing approach to each one of them. Coming down to our business, DMCs don't normally use a marketing plan. What they do is they normally lead on to companies like us or your company or interact for in this case with Volkswagen, but they do normally have a sales action plan instead of a proper marketing plan. Okay, this is the Bible now, we're coming up. Necessary data for its elaboration. I steal this little bit of information from Godley & Company, that's a marketing company in London, but I think that these points, the basic and fundamentals when we're organizing an event. Financial data. All cost and financial accounting must be provided with your financial department. We need to know what we're going to die of before we even start pushing forward a plan. We need to have all the budgets presented to the project manager and thereon. Product or service data. Information that should be provided by your production, R&D, and your business development departments. Marketing, administrative, legal, protocol, etc. Sales and distribution data. Obviously sales, distribution, and all segments that can provide an income. Advertising, promotion, and merchandising data. We need to know the costs of all the merchandising, what's the margin we can recover from that merchandising, and what will be our profit at the end of it. Making sure that we don't manufacture too much. And with the data that we have in from the product data, we will know probably how many people are going to come to our event, so we can work on that information. Market data. In the case of multinational companies, market research is normally externalized. This is my case. Major football clubs of First Division in Spain, Holland, they contact us and they externalize these services. Volkswagen, Formula One, they also externalize these sorts of services for marketing data. Okay? Smaller companies rely on the CEO or the general manager. Marketing plan. This is what we call a little bit the marketing mix. This is a tool to use to determine the best way to offer and position your product. We come down to the 4 P's. Product, price, promotion, and positioning. In whatever sport we're going to organize, we need to know, for instance, we're doing a cycling race, we need to know what product we're going to be using, what price are we going to be putting onto the networks and the travel agencies, etc., in our country of origin, what are we going to be using to promote our event, and how are we going to position our event so we get the right share of the publicity market. In sports tourism, as we are a service also, we apply new marketing theories that could also substitute the 4 P's for the 4 C's. We've got customer, what sort of customer we're looking for. If we're looking for cycling teams, obviously we have different age groups. So we're going to do an event for veterans. Are we looking for people of 50 and over with a higher budget to come over away and do more events every year? What is the cost? For instance, if we have people of over 50, they don't normally like to go into a 2-star hotel. They prefer a 4-star hotel. So we always have to take in consideration customer, cost, convenience. For that sort of age group, where is a convenience destination? Obviously, not a long flight. Mallorca is appropriate. If they come from Dortmund or they come from München, 2-hour flight is fantastic. Communication. How are we going to communicate to this market? What's going to be the cost? And how convenient it's going to be to do and come and do a cycling race in Mallorca in the month of October. Okay? Questions that we ask when all my guys sit down and prepare a tourist or professional event. Back to the 4 P's. Product. What are we selling? We need to make a study. For instance, I don't know much about cycling. So if I have to do a cycling event, I'm going to go and get my homework done on cycling. Destination, what can we do with cycling that destination? What are the problems I'm going to find when I leave origin? I have to take bikes, weight, baggage, transport, van, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. So we need to know what's our product, and how are we going to make sure that we can get it all over? To Mallorca, to Turkey, to Antalya, to Tunisia, to Gran Canaria. How much are we selling it for? Price, obviously, we have competitors everywhere, so we need to get our price right. Always looking at who is our customer and what price do we think we can achieve with every customer. Where and how will we sell it? For instance, my latest experience, go back to cycling because I don't know, so it's been a learning curve for me this year. Where did I sell this? First of all, I went to the German Cycling Federation, contacted the marketing department, requested the local federations of most of Germany. I got a feedback of 200 different cycling federations in Germany. It was pretty easy. We got 300 cyclists over out of 200 federations from all over Germany. Quite easy, because most of these federations were around the areas of Düsseldorf and München, so we had airports quite close. Something so simple provided me with 300 customers. 300 customers with 300 bicycles, for 25 vans, for overweight and luggage. Okay, we was talking of 6,000 kilos only in bicycles, and they were light bicycles, so think about it. Promotion, how will we let the customer know we're selling it? Back again, the German Cycling Federation provided me the contact of the marketing director. We placed, we made a website, one only. We put it up, we put the advertisement on the website, we provide the link to all the federations, and voila, it worked. We were moving. By the way, obviously the ratio was very short, because if we start talking about how many people these federations control, I don't have the exact figure, but we're talking maybe 200,000 people. So 0.03% came over to Mallorca, but that's 300 people at 1,000 euros. 300,000 euros. It's money we can work around. Costs and everything, it left us a nice little profit. Okay, few of the targets of our market. Product, but back again, what does the consumer require? What features does the product need to meet these requirements? What is the branding strategy? Obviously, we need to get our brand. Every time that we try and grow, we destinate from our profits, brand growth. So we make sure that our branding every year grows a little bit, grows a little bit. How will it be unique with other competitive products? Well, that is competition. How will we make sure that we are going to provide a better service, better logistics, better airline tickets, better quality of hotels, better sporting menu, etc., etc. You want me to go faster? I can't talk faster, my friend. I'm so sorry. You shouldn't have booked me. Let's go faster. Price. How will the consumer perceive the price range of your product? How sensitive is your customer with the price? This is what I talked to you about before with the age groups. How is the pricing strategy comparable with the competition? We have to keep an eye on the competition, always. Your enemy, brackets, close to you, okay? Here is a place utility in your product. Obviously, we need to know that Mallorca is really good for cycling, weather, roads, traffic, police, very important. How do we design the proper distribution channels? Distribution channels, internet, newspapers, magazines, specialist magazines, cycling magazines. How to design and incentive the sales team deliver its potential. I go back to Richard Branson. Richard Branson said once, the customer is not the most important thing, it's your employees. If you treat your employees well, your customer will be happy. In our company, we make sure if you bring business in, you will make money with us. It's what we do, and it works. I don't know if any of you guys in your businesses do the same, but in ours, it works. Promotion channels, strategy, brand awareness, back again. Timing for promotion, always make sure that we have plenty of time so we got time to sell If we don't reach our targets, we've got time to resell offers, etc., bring the price down, whatever. Depending on the size of your event, this is something we always recommend. Brand ambassador. We have I go to cycling because it's just been the latest experience that I have. We brought in a Spanish Tour de France winner, Perico Delgado. He came and he did a speech. He was the brand ambassador. The 300 people was at the meeting because they met a Tour de France winner. So it wasn't very expensive and it was very good for our promotion. Couple of P's more before we finish. We got price, product, promotion, placement, people to represent your business that I told you before, physical environment, especially in sports tourism. We cannot have dull people. We have to have people with very good, how do you say it in English now? Personality. Process, the value-added services that differ from the services from the competition. Packaging, also, this is where we can make good money. Would you like me to carry your bicycle? Would you like me to repair your bicycle? Would you like me to clean your bicycle? Let's package them, let's give them what they need. And apart from that, other products that we can put in the deal, insurance, a guarantee, and the medical. We can always make margins on those products. Okay, this is just a little bit of mixing up our marketing, place, product, people. For instance, as I said before, people, cheerful host, empathy with the guest, personal touch, flexibility, communication, for instance, okay? This is a little bit of marketing mix that we mix around all the different aspects. It's available if you want to look at it later on because I'm running out of time. Marketing plan for DMC. Obviously, independent DMCs usually don't have a marketing plan, as we said before. They normally have sales plans. These are only found in large DMCs and by order. Normally, they centralize their marketing department and they're in communication with the department, for instance, of Volkswagen. Marketing plans of DMCs, obviously, they're always very sales-orientated. Event planners come in hand and they often confuse marketing plans. So we really recommend that DMCs, it's better if they arrive with a marketing plan underneath their arms. Obviously, this makes sense because the DMC can become a very important part of a specific plan for the customer, but it's a great and important strategy of advantage towards our competitors. So it is good to interact with the DMC, but I prefer to deliver the marketing plan already prepared. Very quickly, our sales plan, travel agency sales at origin. This is obviously the travel agencies, the classical that we still have on all main high streets. Interact. If we go for one company, like let's say Thomas Cook, well, maybe we could do a tour with 3 or 4 days and visit the most important towns in Germany, make sure that we leave some window prospects, probably invite the manager of one of the most important brands to come over, do a site inspection. Online sales, obviously it's the future. Specialized apps. We always create an app for any of our events. Sales calls. This is what we did with the Deutsche Cycling Federation. Global exhibitions and trademarks. Obviously, it's a cost. But if you have a good event, we highly recommend it to go because it's like a workshop like today. You're going to find people that will be interested in your product. Call center. I have my doubts at the moment with call centers again. The ratios are not very good. I mean, we're disturbing customers and they seem to call and call and call, and the ratio, the percentage of achievement is very low and we bug our customers. So at the moment, I'm not too happy with call centers. Profile of a salesperson, obviously has to know his product, personality, communication, economic motivation, what I said to you before, make sure he gets a good percentage of the sales that he brings into the company and his status, obviously, in the society. Very quickly, our selling technique. I think you all know we have the AIDA, SPIN, and the AI CDC. You can use them. They're very helpful and they come very handy if we adapt attention, interest, desire, and action. These formulas still work, so I don't need to go into that. Finally, what are the objectives of my company, your company, any company. Create our own customer database. This will allow us to filter customers and control the status with our stats. Our company now, we've been going now 4 years. We have a 20% of repetition. That's very good. 20%. You know that every year, more or less, 20% are going to come back with another event. That makes you very comfortable, makes your company in a comfortable position, knowing that 20% of your target, you achieve it just with repetition. Follow and scout our own customer base. It doesn't mean that they don't repeat, that we can't call them up and present them with new projects, new destinations, or new adventures or corporate sports events. Be ready for customer needs at all market windows. Project a company growth within a time period. This is what we did. We did a 3-year, and our growth was around 10% minimum revenue per annum. Target a yearly profit margin of 5%. This is obviously very low. Sometimes the percentage is much higher. Okay. Increase customer and client database yearly. Maintain job costing that keeps margins above 70% on future employees. Once again, we come back. When we incorporate new staff, we must study the profit margin after costs that they produce. We study somebody who comes in, let's say for instance, he costs me €1,000 a month, but I make a balance at the end of the year. What is the profit margin that this employee, we gain with this employee? So we know how profitable he is and how he's working. Blah, blah, blah. Finally, keys to success. Obviously back again to my personal opinion or our company. I don't have to say. Client satisfaction of at least 90%. We always do a survey to all our customers. Every single customer that comes in, we do a survey. Even if it's a professional footballer, I will leave a survey in his bedroom. And I'm talking, I managed very important footballers, and I made sure that they write down the survey. We need the opinion of everyone to develop our company and to better our services, obviously. Overheads as low as possible, obviously without breaking quality, but we need to be very, very under control of our general costs. In Mallorca, there's one sponsor, I won't mention the name because I'm not allowed to, very big brand of soft drinks. Logo is red and white. They do 300 events a year, just on Mallorca. 300 events a year. They put money into all these events. Only out of these 300, 60% of these events lose money. So please, be very careful with your general cost and your control. Ensure professional marketing and presentation. Provide active and functional websites. Ensure active social network. Great believer right now. Our company, we have an infrastructure around Twitter and Facebook. We can put out a message and we can deliver it to about 400,000 people within 2 hours. 400,000 people within 2 hours. Google statistics doesn't lie. To be prepared for constant on-site visits, customers and collaborators, obviously B2B like we're doing today, extremely important. Create a global network of trusted DMC. Once I start off with one DMC and they've done a good job for me, it's very difficult for us to change. We create mutual confiance, so we get on proper. Position the brand within the major sports tourism destinations. This is what we are working on now at SPI. We're trying to position our brand in other countries, and especially in resorts like Antalya, and we're getting very well positioned in Holland for our summer camps with professional football teams. Saying that, it opens doors. Once they see your logo, they know your brand. For instance, if I call Feyenoord or call Ajax or Groningen football clubs, they receive me, no problem. Achieve the break-even within the first signing of the agreement. I know this is very difficult, really difficult. But if we could get, when we sign an event from Volkswagen, from Porsche, from anybody who comes down from a football team, if when we sign the deal, we can get a 40% of the income up front, you work much easier, and we create the break-even level, so from there on, you know it's all profit. And finally, excellence in fulfilling our compromise. Confidentiality, very important, reliable and trustworthy. If we cannot provide these three basics, we will never get the customer back again, and we will never get the business from that customer again. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Damon.
Thank you, gracias.